Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Devin the Bear. Today we're going to be talking about UFC Fight Night in Vegas 27. It's headlined by Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt, but we have a special guest today. It'll be our first guest ever, and it's our good friend Caleb. What's up, Caleb?
Howdy do. Got me in here for Butt Naked Wednesday.
Fuck, dude. I didn't expect that.
And there's Dev.
What's up, y'all?
All right. So Caleb's not a avid watcher of combat sports, but he's not opposed to talking about it.
I do and love. I love watching people punch each other in the faces, but
Yeah, who doesn't love that? You know,
That's why we're here.
I just don't go out of my way to do it.
Why not?
I don't know. It usually gets pushed in my face on social media via World Star, and not like watching.
Miss World Star.
Is it not around anymore?
I mean, it is. It's just not prominent like it used to be.
Yeah.
They used to have like top moments in World Star. The dude I went to high school with was on World Star.
Really?
Yeah, he knocked some dude out. It was
Nice.
fucking bad. He knocked some dude out with like one punch, and his head bounced off the cafeteria counter and split his head open. He had a seizure right after.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it was fucking
World
wild.
Star indeed.
Yeah, dude.
Our high school was on World Star.
Yeah, the
They
cafeteria.
They did the montage to, was it Degrassi or High School Musical?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was one of the two, and
I remember seeing someone share it on Facebook though.
yeah, it was golden.
It
I
was
loved
great.
it.
So,
All right. Well, as far as the preliminary card, there's a few fighters that are pretty relevant names that most people find familiar. Yancy Medeiros. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, so he's on the prelims here, and he's going to need to get a win.
yep, he's fighting against Damir Hadzoik, and he's also on a 2-fight losing streak. So both these guys are coming in, both need a win.
And like we were saying last time, when you're on a 3-fight losing streak, or just a losing streak in general, and you're on a prelim,
Yeah,
when you're a big name, that means you got to do something. Otherwise,
yeah,
they're kind of telling you, hey, you suck.
yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, with the UFC consistently signing new talent now,
Yeah.
I mean, these older guys are going out. You know,
I could be wrong, but I think that I saw that Veretennikov got signed too from
Really?
Fury the other
yeah.
day.
Oh yeah,
He did.
I don't know if he did, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
I saw
Nikolai.
that something happened, but I don't remember if it was that he got signed or not. But
Yeah,
I can't remember, and I meant to look into it. Totally forgot. But it'd be really cool if he did. I know he trains out of Texas, and he ain't from Texas.
yeah,
This is all Greek to me.
Yeah.
But it rings kind of like the same energy that you would get from like college football.
yeah.
Because you know you're on the chopping block, so you know that between these two guys, they're going to be going all in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's going to equate to either a really, really good fight or, you know, in and out in
Or
20
hey, there's a
seconds.
reason they're there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
And so, like, you know, when they're in that position, too, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, they need the win to stay in the UFC, but it's like you can't just win. You got to go out there and show why, hey, no, I should still be here.
Yeah.
You know?
There have been plenty of fighters who get cut after a win.
Yeah. Colby Covington, you know who Colby Covington is?
No.
What's it called? He's entertaining. You should look into him. He's pretty funny. But
You'd like Colby.
I think you
Covington.
like him a lot, honestly. He's but like he was actually on a win streak, and he was about to get cut from the UFC because he was just a boring, like considered a boring fighter, which he really wasn't a boring fighter. He was a press string fighter. I mean, he just gassed people out, but he stayed quiet and just fought. And then I don't know where he puts on this character, and then he blows up, and now it's like everybody wants to watch him fight because you either want to watch him get beat up, or you just know he's a really good fighter.
Yeah. Did he not have like that show presence about
No.
him? Is that
No.
what was boring?
He was
So
he was a
basically-
high level wrestler who had decent boxing. So what he would do is he'd go in there, put you up against the cage, kind of tire you out, and then pummel you till the end of the fight.
So it's basically what I was saying about Ronda Rousey last night, is that she had no pistache to her.
Well, she was exciting once she got her arms around you, flipped you over, and then got you in an armbar. Because
And then
that's
that-
what she did.
But that was it.
She had a few knockout wins. She was a lot more exciting than people give her credit for. I feel like her last 2 wins really diminished people's image of her. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, her last 2 losses really diminished people's image of her. She was There's a reason she was so big.
Yeah, they used to compare her to like almost like a Mike Tyson fight where it had to be on a stat card because her fights would end so fast.
Yeah.
Like she would go out there. I mean, she was getting to the point where she was actually knocking women out on the feet as well. I mean,
which is something no one expected.
Yeah, I mean, because she was a straight judo-based fighter. So, like, was that whenever I forgot who was she like did a hip toss to and knocked her out from the hip toss.
Cause Kat Zingano?
No, it wasn't Kat Zingano. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, she hip tossed her whenever the impact of the floor and Ronda landing on top of her. She like stiffened up and was like starched out cold.
No shit.
Yeah.
No crud.
Well, speaking of guys who need to go out there and get a win, we have Court McGee fighting Claudio Silva.
Yeah.
Court McGee had been fighting a really long time. He has a cool story. He's a former heroin addict. MMA saved his life. He got on The Ultimate Fighter. Kind of blew up there. Took a break. He's come back recently and put together some wins and some losses.
Yeah.
He's on a prelim card fighting Claudio Silva. And that's... I feel like if he loses, he's going to get cut. Claudio Silva just lost to James Krause, so I feel like if he loses, he's just going to keep going on with his career. I don't think it's really going to impact him too heavily if he loses, but it definitely doesn't look good if you're losing to Court McGee now.
Who's I believe is on a 3-5 lose streak as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, all of those fights he's having, he's going to decision with them, but then you have a guy like Claudio Silva. He only has one loss in the UFC right now. He finishes a lot of guys either knockout or submission.
How many fights?
In the UFC, who's that?
Claudio Silva.
Yeah.
I want to say he's probably about 7 fights. He's in the UFC, just in the UFC. And he just lost his first fight to James Krause.
Yeah. His professional record is 14-2.
Very nice.
But another guy who got a fight set up is Ben Rothwell. His fight was supposed to be last weekend.
Yep.
And it got cut because Felipe Lins didn't.
I don't even think he showed
cleared,
up, right?
So he didn't show up. And they didn't tell anything to anyone. And Ben Rothwell's sitting at the weigh-ins like, so we're going to do this? And they're like, oh, Felipe Lins didn't show up. He goes, oh, cool. And they're like, yeah, he never got cleared by medical either. And he's like, oh, cool. I wish someone would have told me before I got here because now I'm here. And what am I supposed to do? I don't have a fight.
Yeah. That counts as a win is what I would say.
He's going to be fighting Chris Barnett. That'll be a fun fight. Ben Rothwell's always fun.
Yeah.
Really goofy dude. Just does weird things. It's hard to explain him. I feel like he tries to be like a weird supervillain from an old comic movie or something.
He does like this laugh at the end of every fight and shit too.
Yeah.
But starting off the main card, we have Jack Hermanson and Edmund Shabazian. I think that's gonna be a really fun fight.
That is a very fun fight. Now
I'm just kidding.
Do not point at me.
And so both these guys are both middleweight fighters. They Jack Hermanson has some wins over some big name guys. He's coming off of a loss against Marvin Vettori and Edmund Shabazian. He trained with Ronda Rousey. He uses her. That's where he trains at the Glendale Fight Club. And he was actually her training partner whenever he was 14. So whenever she was fighting the UFC, she was training with him because he wasn't fully grown yet. Now he's like fucking 6'2", and so he's a big guy now. But she kind of saw already, like that's who his manager is Ronda Rousey, and so she helps him get these fights and stuff and work things out for him. But Edmund Shabazian is really, really good though. He's young. I want to say he's like 22 or 23. Jack Hermanson he's in his mid-30s, but both these guys are super good. Edmund Shabazian is kind of good everywhere. He's had some knockouts against guys that even the champion hasn't even knocked out. Mm-hmm. And then you have Jack Hermanson coming off of a loss to Marvin Vettori, but he's still a really good fighter. He's all around really good, a very strong grappler type. And so it's kind of you get the little bit of a mix of a striker versus grappler fight, which is always like a good see two different types of styles clash against each other. So, yeah.
Well, I weigh like 148 pounds
right.
on a good day, and I'm 5'11". Out of the two of them, Who do I have a better chance with?
Shit, dude. It's a good question.
Neither.
Yeah.
don't
Neither.
have a chance against
No,
neither.
but that's why I'm saying. Who do I have the
The
better,
chance?
Yeah.
Well, like 0-0. There's no better there.
Yeah, I'm really trying to wonder where you would be.
So who I'm showing you right now is Jack Hermanson.
Which one's on top?
Jack Hermanson.
Oh, okay. So the one on the bottom's who I have the better chance with. Oh yeah, with a face like that, that ain't working.
Yeah, Jack Hermanson is he's pretty good all around, but he'll stand and strike with you. But if he gets you down, that you're done. He's just very good on the ground, whether it's elbows, punches, or if it's a submission. He's gonna finish you.
Yeah, and he's putting work in on that dude.
Yeah.
So when and Edmund Shabazian's pretty much the same. I would say he's not quite the name and the presence as
Yeah.
Jack Hermanson, but he'll get there. He's definitely working his way there. Yeah, like I said, Jack Hermanson, once he gets you down, he pummels you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. He's like merciless.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. How's your jiu-jitsu? Could you successfully take someone down and, like, if someone took you down, could you sweep them or maybe go for a triangle?
I could probably. Yeah, I mean, I used to wrestle in the front yard.
Yeah.
I used to get down a little bit. Yeah, I could.
Fucking put them in a chicken wing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Put him in more than that.
Oh my god.
Huh?
What?
I was just saying. Put him
And
in
then
first.
so how's your striking then?
I don't know, man. Like I get noodle arms when I go to punch like that. I get like the dream punches going.
Like a wet rope.
Yeah, like I've got a good solid punch. Like if you want to sit here and play bloody knuckles or swap hits,
Right.
I'm good. But when it comes to an actual altercation, I guess the adrenaline just says, "Nah, you're good," and it's genuinely like punching in water.
Do you have a good gas tank? Like, you think you can, like, fight for, like, probably, like, more than 2 rounds?
How long's a round?
5 minutes.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
So, okay.
Not
so
against that guy, but
well, yeah. I mean, so if you have a good gas, I mean, your best bet will probably be against Shabazian then. Because, I mean, his last fight, he got TKO'd in the 3rd round. He was gassed. He was exhausted.
Yeah. See, that's another thing is I'm slippery and weaselly, so I'd have him moving around too much. They get tuckered out.
You lather up before the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, it's a good fight. I'm really excited for this fight that's finally happening. I know there was an issue. There was a COVID related issue. That's why I wasn't on the card last week. But I'm looking forward to it. Finally seeing these two because I mean it's gonna help one or the other to prove that Jack Hermanson's he's still gonna be at the top versus Edmund Shabazian who's knocking right on the door for top contender.
Okay.
And so I feel like it goes either way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You think you can handle 5 rounds of that? 2
you
rounds?
Said, you said he got gassed in 3?
Yeah. 2.
Gassed in 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
He's got some solid swings on him, though.
Yeah, he does.
That's the only problem I see.
I would not fuck with that guy.
That crinkled in chest, though. One solid hoof to that, and I think he'd be good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think with that, it's exactly what I said, though. It's a classic grappler versus striker matchup. I think if I really feel like Jack Hermanson pulls off the win, though.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think he gets it to the ground.
Yeah.
And like I said, once he gets it to the ground, he ends it.
Yeah.
So I think
he's a big, strong guy. He has the core strength to take somebody like Shabazian down. But Shabazian's scary everywhere, though. I mean, we're seeing that right now. Just people try to take him down. He throws strikes from everywhere. He's gonna throw them in spots that you don't expect. And
he's not as accurate as the other guy, though. The other guy was throwing multiple. It
Yeah.
didn't look as hard as his hits,
right.
but his are sporadic.
Yeah,
and all over the
quick,
place.
and
the other ones were landing one after the other.
Yeah, see, like Hermanson had that guy's back, so he threw strikes from a position he knew he could land the best. Like put all his power into him And so, but yeah, I think Hermanson is able to get it to the ground. I think his experience is going to weigh in a little bit. Not that there's anything
that is essentially what you're talking about, Caleb. Is his experiences. He's learned when to throw shots, and where to throw them, and how much you need to exert yourself to throw them, and Shabazian's still kind of learning that.
Yeah.
Some people never learn it because they don't have to. Like Francis Ngannou. He didn't have to. He did anyway.
Please don't show me that guy again. I had nightmares about him last night.
Dude, he's scary.
Dude. There is such a thing as too big of a human.
So another fight on the main card is going to be Justin Tafa and Jared Vendera. And that fight's going to be in the heavyweight division. It's going to kind of bring in new prospects for the division. We have Justin Tafa, who is getting to where he needs a win. He needs to keep putting his name out there, and he's got a handful of losses in the UFC now. So if he doesn't start stringing together some wins, some consecutive wins, he's not gonna be relevant, and he's gonna kind of fall behind because I think the heavyweight division is got moving a lot of talent right now.
There's a lot of traction with it, man. You got guys like you were talking about Francis Ngannou. We got guys like Derek Lewis who are at the top. Other guys who you have to beat to get to the top. Guys like Tai Tuivasa. And so right now, Justin Tafa is 1-2 in the UFC right now. He's coming off of a loss right now. The only guy he beat is Juan Adams, who's not even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
We just saw him fight on Sunday at Fury. And you got a guy like Jared who's just coming in, and he knows that it's a well name he's fighting, So he's got to figure out where that's going to come in right there, is like what exactly he's going to do with that.
Yeah, and Jared Vendera, however it's said, he's kind of has a similar situation as Justin Tafa. He's coming into the UFC, and he's got his last few fights where he looked good. And he needs to win. Because if he doesn't win, he's kind of showing like, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, because he's only had one fight. He's 0-1 in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
Already lost by TKO, and so it's showing that it's like, okay, there's...
And that was against Sergey Spivak.
Yeah.
And Sergey put it on him, and that was all there was to it. The second he got going, he never stopped. He didn't have to, because Jared wasn't going to stop him. So that fight's going to kind of determine who's going to be moving up, because I think one of those guys, whoever loses, is going to end up leaving soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's what someone needs to find their footing, because if not, it's just someone has to. Whoever wants to stay in the UFC has to win that fight. It's just one of these things where it's like Justin Tafa gets compared a lot to Tai Tuivasa when you watch him.
Like the poor man's Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah,
I'll
and
say
it's
it.
like,
okay.
and so he kind of needs to have that. He does have.
What's he gonna do? Fight you?
He's gonna hear our podcast and go, "Hold on, I'm gonna find him."
And so he kind of needs to find that footing. I think. The guy's Jared is the guy's fighting. He's been stopped. Most of his losses are by stoppage. He has 3 losses, 1 decision, 1 submission, 1 TKO.
So to interrupt real quick,
Go ahead.
People who know Jared Vendera, the people who know him well call him the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be appropriate if we just referred to him as Jared the Mountain.
Okay,
we can. Yeah.
I'm definitely
as you wish.
I'm definitely not looking on his website right now at facts.
But I do want to clarify and say it's not that I think that they're going to get fired or their contract's going to get cut from the UFC if they lose this fight. If they lose this fight, they are showing what they're made of, and it's not a good sign right now, because the UFC, like we were saying, the heavyweight division is getting a surge of talent right now with Dawkins, Aspinall.
This is the couple that we were talking about beforehand, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that were basically...
They need to come in and look good, otherwise everyone's kind of like, okay, well, that's who you are.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have to... There's so many people that are fighting the heavyweight division that it's like people are noticing, And it's like there's eyes finally back on the heavyweight division. There hasn't been in a while. And so I think even while guys like Cain Velasquez were champion,
And what sucks is we have all this talent, and now Francis Ngannou's the champion.
Yeah.
And no one's going to beat him.
It's like playing that fucking Mike Tyson video game back in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like you got to fight him at the end. And it's like...
Doesn't matter how good you were.
Yeah.
That's what you had to fight. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, I don't even want to fight for the fucking belt if I got to fight that guy, dude. But even there's even getting to the top to fight those guys. You know, you have Cyril
It's gonna be
Gagne,
hard.
you got Rose.
And Cyril Gahn is going to be a problem because
Yeah.
that dude is so well rounded. But so is Tom Aspinall. So if Tom Aspinall makes it up
Yeah,
to that, I think he's going to be a problem too.
he's got some power in his fucking
So
hands
is
too.
Dawkins. Dawkins
Yeah.
is good everywhere too.
Yeah. He's knocking people out. His brother's good out as well, even though he's coming off of a loss. He just fought Phil Hawes in a really exciting fight with
Where he
Chris.
almost won.
Yep, and it was but yeah, man. I mean, I kind of want to give the edge to Justin Tafa, but I don't know if the fight gets finished though. That's the hard thing. Is like you know the guys that have beat Jared Vanderall, there are guys like what's his name, Carlos Ferreira, who just fought fucking Fabricio Verdum. Then you got Sergey. What's that?
It was Henan.
Henan, sorry, thank you. Henan Ferreira, who just fought Fabricio Verdum, who just knocked out Fabricio Verdum in a very controversial fight, but still, I mean, look who he lost to, and then look at Sergey Spivak. He's fucking coming up. He's a big name that's coming in the heavyweight division as well.
So suffice it to say, they got their work cut out for them. The next fight is going to be Yan Shonen and Carla Esparza. That's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
I think if Carla doesn't win here, that drops her out of any
Title
kind of
talks.
contention.
And that's what's hard is because
It's women.
Yep.
Do we have? Because you know me, I like a good girl fight, and it. I don't know. I think there's something so cool about seeing some muscled up women go into the ring and like go at it. Because you always see men doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when Danica Patrick came out. It was like,
So
I love you,
I love you.
but it's only because you're changing up the pace. It's not.
so
It's like you're a better face to look at than the rest of them.
Carla
Much better.
Esparza is called Cookie Monster.
I could see why.
She's very small, but she's very strong. So the way that she fights is very grinding. She pushes you up against the cage and kind of tires you out and ends up getting the win one way or another.
Yeah.
Whether it's by decision or she tires you out enough to finish you off. She's going to be fighting Yan Shonen. Yan Shonen is kind of like Weili Zhang, but I don't think she's as put together as Weili Zhang.
Right.
But she fights she has the same like aggression when she fights.
I was gonna say I feel like her and Carla fight kind of similar. Yan is very much a grinder whenever she fights. She likes to push the pace. She likes to grind people out, make them tired, and put in work on them. So it's gonna be who can really implement that type of style against each other. You know.
Those are very petite women
Yeah.
to be fighting. I've only ever seen, like, I think the smallest I've ever seen was Ronda Rousey,
Yeah.
where she was still.
Because we were like looking at Gabby Garcia, monsters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the one that I said I was gonna marry, right? Yeah. Which I will.
They're gonna dominate anyone they fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we were saying, Carlos Esparza and Yan Shonen, they're both going to come into this fight with the same idea. They're going to put their fight together before the other fighter does.
Yeah.
They're going to push their pace and force the other fighter to fight their fight.
Well, that's why I was mentioning how petite they are. Like when it comes to somebody as 5'1", 115 pounds. Like at that point,
Yeah.
It's not just two hulking men or two hulking women just going in there and beating the brakes off of each other. There's
Technique.
strategery
Yeah.
behind all of this.
That's what what's it called? So Carla Esparza has a submission win over the current champion in the strawweight division. So she has a win over Rose Namajunas as well, and she's currently riding a 4-fight win streak, and Jan is riding a 6-fight win streak. But all these wins are coming by decision. But it's crazy to think that Jan, because she's stocky, dude. Like for someone that's 5'5" and 115 pounds, she used to fight at bantamweight, which is
very
105.
lengthy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say stocky. She's very lengthy though.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. She fights a lot like Weili Zhang because Weili Zhang likes to throw her strikes around.
Yeah.
And Yan does that too.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's not as put together. She doesn't have as much success with it. But I think that she does get the job done against Carla Esparza. I think her striking is going to be the difference because I think Carla's striking isn't as good as Jan's.
Plus,
Yeah.
she kind of has more definition and meat on her bones, so I think she could swing that hammer a little bit harder, too, as far as striking goes.
Yeah, she definitely. I think her reach advantage is definitely going to play a factor. And I'm kind of curious to see who is the stronger fighter. Just because Carla is known for taking people down, being able to control them as well. And so, but Jan, I think she moves better on the feet. That's going to be where her advantage is at. But I mean, it's number 3 and 4 in the world right now fighting, and so we're going to kind of see what plays out. I mean, whoever wins this fight is more than likely fighting for the title next. So yeah.
And then we're going to go ahead and get into the main event, which is going to be Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font. Cody Garbrandt is coming off the win against Rafael Assunção.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's had kind of a rough road trying to piece wins together because of fights pulling out one way or another, whether it was him or whether it was his opponent. And then you have Rob Font, who's kind of the other way around. He's been putting wins together easily. So I think this is going to be a really good fight. I think this is going to be two guys who are trying their best to show that they deserve to be in the top 5 and then up for title talks. But I think it's a harder road for Cody than it is for Rob.
Yeah.
And I think if Cody wants to win this fight, he's going to have to fight harder than Rob does. And I think the way that Cody fights is at his best is when he's fighting with little effort.
Yeah.
Rob is going to make him put a lot of effort into it. So he's going to have to put as much into it as he possibly can to win this fight. Because Rob Font he's rising really fast. And it's about time for him. He's worked hard for it.
Yep.
But since he started putting his wins together, no one's been able to stop him.
No. He's doing.
So you're saying that he's going to make Cody work for it? Are you saying because his previous fights have been easy for him and
Cody? Okay, yes. So let me show you Cody Garbrandt fight Dominic Cruz.
Watching the way he's swinging on these dudes and just dropping them like nothing.
Yeah,
it seems like it kind of just comes natural to him.
It definitely does. He is naturally an amazing striker. His head movement, his timing is so good. So when he fought Dominic Cruz is a fighter that no one has been able to figure out at this point. No one's been able to touch him. Barely or rarely ever do we see him get hit very hard. The only people who ever did it were at the top of the game.
Yeah,
like
and
Uriah Faber.
Dominic Cruz at the time, whenever he lost to Uriah Faber, he was really young into the game. Didn't even have a fight camp, just trained himself pretty much.
Well, I'm talking about the rematch where he beat Uriah Faber.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only other time you saw him get hit.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, he got hit, and then he got right back up and put it back on Uriah Faber. And it's like, you can't stop this guy.
Yeah.
And then look at what Cody Garbrandt does to Dominic Cruz. Cody Garbrandt toys with him. He does the robot. He does push-ups, I think, at some point. He does the running man. He does all kinds of things just making fun of Dominic Cruz, taunting him. And it was so hard to watch as a Dominic Cruz fan. And what's even crazier to think is Dominic Cruz influenced this guy's style so much. And now this is what Dominic Cruz created is the perfect way to beat him.
It's kind of like Taskmaster or something. He was just watching, and he's like, and it's funny because you're saying he influenced him, and I'm watching this, and Homeboy misses just about every single shot on him, and he's been landing every single shot.
Yeah. It was rough.
It was a clinic. I mean, it was because coming in the fight, Cody Garbrandt was very emotional, talking a lot of crap. And really wasn't making sense with his words. And seemed like Dominic Cruz just got it in this guy's head. Was like, I'm going to fight some emotional kid. So even backstory on that is Dominic Cruz has beat everybody in the way
Garbrandt's gym.
Cody Garbrandt's
Every
gym.
single person that has ever trained Cody Garbrandt or trained with him, Dominic Cruz destroyed them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So Cody Garbrandt has this big rivalry with him. And there was another guy in their camp. They're called Alpha Male. There's another guy there who ended up leaving to go train with someone else, and they have this rivalry. And his name's T.J. Dillashaw. T.J. Dillashaw went and beat Cody Garbrandt. He knocked him out with a head kick, and Cody Garbrandt was really out of it when he was getting up, and they just come to face. And T.J. Dillashaw is just screaming in Cody's face, and Cody's still trying to figure out what's going on. So he's just, and T.J. Dillashaw is just screaming, and it's a pretty funny picture.
Yeah, because there's a lot of crap talk. There's so much shit that happened between them. They did the Ultimate Fighter together. They did a TV show together. Almost got in fights multiple times. But yeah, so whenever coming in that fight, Cody Garbrandt just walked in because they kind of bred Cody Garbrandt to beat Dominic Cruz. They're like, no, like that's gonna be the guy. And so that dude had years to be prepared for the fighting style that Dominic Cruz has. Yeah. And so whenever they finally got Dwayne Ludwig in, they're finally able to get like high level striking, high level footwork to understand and really break down a guy like Dominic Cruz. But he put a clinic on him. But since that fight though, since he put on this incredible performance against Dominic Cruz, Cody Garbrandt fought T.J. Dillashaw twice, got knocked out twice, and fights Pedro Munoz, an up-and-comer, and he comes out, and then he ends up getting knocked out, so we didn't see Cody Garbrandt for a while. Then after that, Cody Garbrandt comes in, he switched fight camps, he left Team Alpha Male, and he trains with, I want to say it was Mike Henry, right? And
yeah,
so, yeah,
Mark
Henry, that's who it was. He's training with Mark Henry, the trainer, not the wrestler. And he started training with him, and he came in, he's a lot more patient, more focused. He was taking his time, not so emotional, even when he got hit with good shots, because that was his thing, too, was he would get very pissed off when people would punch him, and then he would, like, drop his hands. He would try to fight the guy, then he would get knocked out. It happened to him 3 times in a row. And so he fights Rafael Sunsao, which is this big fight that he had coming in. It was a big deal coming in because it was like, what kind of Cody are we gonna get? Is he washed up? Is he, was it a one-time thing? He won the championship, that was it. And he's very patient, fighting very smooth. Then out of nowhere, last second of the second round, I think right on the dot, he knocks out Rafael Sunsao with the cleanest fucking right hand you'll ever see.
It's a nice ducking right hand. It's really, really nice.
Just the way he followed up with it. I mean, it shows like what you talked about, how hard he hits. Like that shows his punching power. Like he put that motherfucker out, dude. Yeah. Face first to the ground. Like it was. He even knew he wasn't getting up. It was a fucking punch and a walk off knockout. Like
this is the one you're talking about.
And so, yeah, just right there. And he knew it was done.
So fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they kind of go back to, because Cody Garbrandt has very high level striking, even though sometimes he wasn't able to show it. But his fight IQ is up there whenever his mind doesn't get in the way of him doing his job, And
see, I was thinking that a second ago, was like all that showboating and the footwork and the screaming.
Yeah.
And like that's going to get in the way.
Yeah.
And as soon as someone catches you in the middle of doing push-ups or doing the robot, dude, as soon as someone catches you, they are laying you out.
Yeah.
And where's your fancy footwork and dancing going to be then?
Exactly, yeah.
And sometimes it's fun to watch like that, but at the same time, it shows someone who, in my opinion, lacks discipline.
Yeah.
To me, at least, because like if you're gonna go out of your way to do stuff like that, it shows a lack of
humility and discipline and focus.
Because you think that this belongs to you. I understand talking a big game before the fight, but during the fight, I think that you should present yourself as an athlete. Well, and
this is the guy he's fighting, Rob Font. Rob Font is very focused, very disciplined.
And you can see it.
He's been doing this for a while, and he just hadn't been able to really get it together up until like the last few years. And he's just been near unstoppable. His striking is very powerful, very good, very aggressive in a methodical kind of way.
Yeah. You can see it on his face that he's almost like Rain Manning out. Like there's equations and stuff flying all around his head before
he's
he
very
throws that
focused.
hook.
But what I like about him too is he fights like a bully. Like, and he's 5'8". He's not much bigger than these guys, but he bullies people when he fights. Like when he fought Sergio Pettis, is what started this win streak to get him to where he's fighting right now, probably possible title eliminator. He just he beat the shit out of him. I mean, and right now Sergio Pettis is the what's called Bellator bantamweight champion.
Yeah.
So he just went in there. He put on work on him. I mean, right now Rob Font's riding a 3-5 win streak. He's beat guys like Sergio Pettis. Then after that, he went on to beat Ricky Simone. Then he had that really good knockout against Marlon Moraes, and he's just coming up. And so right now, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you have that aggressive style versus aggressive style, but you're seeing Cody Garbrandt's aggressive style kind of switch into more of a patient and aggressive when it needs to be aggressive. You know, like I'm a big fan of Rob Font trains with. He trains with the New England Cartel. Yeah. Those dudes have fucking hands.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
their boxing is high level.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I'm thinking Rob Font, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm thinking he takes it.
I have a
because look at these two dudes. I used my cheat sheet. They're both just about as tall as me. They both weigh the same. They weigh exactly the same, 138.
Well,
and
when they're fighting, they probably weigh more than that. When they weigh in, they're weighing in roughly at that weight, and then they rehydrate.
Gotcha. So,
not a whole lot more.
142,
but they're coming in a little heavier than that.
Yeah.
But my thing is that you've got this guy who's got a mean streak for being real cocky and showsy. You've got him up against somebody who's got what I'd say is just as good of striking, but look at him. He's more disciplined. He's more focused. I think he's got a cleaner fighting style than the other guy.
Yeah.
And I think that that Cody fellow is going to take that as a bit of a threat, and it's going to bring that showiness back out of him.
So what you saw with the Rafael Assunção knockout from Cody Garbrandt, the ducking right hand, he did that because he's learned to be more patient. So he's letting Rafael Assunção push him so that he can be the counter striker. I think that plays a little into Rob Font's fighting style. Is he likes to be the pusher, he likes to be the aggressor, and he likes to push. And I think Cody knows more of what it takes to be a champion than Rob Font does.
Yeah.
Considering he's been there before and Rob Font has not. So I think Cody knows he's got more experience in high-profile fights, and I think he's going to use that. Even though he comes off as someone who may not be able to figure that kind of stuff out, I think he has. And I think he showed it with Rafael Assunção. Granted, Rafael Assunção isn't Rob Font by any means.
No.
I don't think, because I think if they fight, I think Rob Font takes that fight too.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good tune-up fight for Cody. And a lot of fighters don't take tune-up fights anymore when they feel like their name is something that belongs at the headlining event every single time.
Yeah.
And I think he took that tune-up fight, and I think that was smart.
Funny enough, Rob Font's last loss was to Rafael Assunção.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before this win streak that he's on.
I'm on a cool streak of looking stupid, so...
That answers that question.
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good for Rafael Assunção.
So people sleep on him, man, because he's an older guy in the division. Yeah. He's I want to say he's closer to 40 than a lot of these other guys are. So he's usually fighting these younger guys, but he has
How long ago was that?
Let me check, but I know that he's that was 2018. That was about almost 3 years ago when they fought. And so, but
fight him now, and I think he loses.
It's crazy.
Like I said, Rob Font over the last few years has changed.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's because of that loss.
I'll call my people and get something put
that was his last loss.
Thanks. Bless you.
And to our German listeners, Gesundheit.
Yeah.
And so,
also, yeah, you know what?
Shout
out to our German listeners. We have at least 1% to 2% of our listeners in Germany. whoever that is.
A little bit of the Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich, meine Freund.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, man,
He wouldn't know.
He wouldn't
He didn't
know.
have Miss McDermott.
Exactly.
but yeah, man.
Shout out to Miss McDermott.
What if it's her? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Go
But
ahead.
what if it's her?
She lives in Dickinson.
She's in Dickinson?
She lives in Dickinson. Yeah.
That's right down the street from me.
Anyway,
saying?
so
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I honestly forgot what I was gonna say.
Man. Oh, man.
in this fight with Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt, like I said, I think Cody knows what it takes.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that Rob Font doesn't; it's that Cody's been there.
Yeah.
Um,
And Cody said the same thing. I was watching his interview, his
Yep.
pre-fight interview, and that's what he says. Like, Rob Font has never been here. Like, this is his first time in the main event. His first time fighting 5 rounds. This is his first time, having the spotlight on him. He's like, I'm used to this. I used to be a champion in this division. So for me, it, is coming in and still living up to the hype that I brought in last year whenever I fought a Sun Sal, because Cody Garbrandt was supposed to be fighting Davison Figueiredo for the 125 title, and then he pulled out because of COVID. But I mean, it was one thing after another. The dude got, after COVID, gets pneumonia. After pneumonia, gets vertigo. Like, he ends up getting blood clots caused from COVID and stuff. Wow. And yeah,
like I said, he's at a rough road to try to put some wins together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been a lot easier for Rob Font because Rob Font, like Devin said, he goes out there and he bullies people. So he just goes in there and he's like, I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to get this win and I'm going to be moving on with my life.
Yeah.
Cody Garbrandt has had issues. So I think, or rather I hope he can go in there and win. I really like Rob Font, but I think there's a cool story with Cody Garbrandt winning a championship again.
yeah. And so for me, it's like
I guess I gotta mute myself. There's so many things I want to say.
and so but I think
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I think I have to go with Garbrandt though. I think
Yeah.
Garbrandt's gonna take the win. I just think that it's his time again. I don't know. That's just how I feel. That the way that Rob Font fights, he's an aggressor, but he's fighting against a guy who's learned patience and learned to really focus on his fighting and not his emotions. So but I don't know. I really don't know how it would end with these two guys fighting though. It's gonna be a knockout.
I think so, too.
Someone's getting finished, and I think
if it goes to decision, it's going to be because of Cody Garbrandt's counter striking, and he takes it by decision.
Yeah.
I don't see Rob Font winning by decision.
no.
Because he's gonna knock out Cody if he gets the win. It's by knockout. So I think Cody either gets a knockout win or a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it's decision.
Man, I'm kind of changing my mind because the more I'm thinking about it, and y'all are talking about aggressor and everything, every time he strikes or every time he knees somebody in the face, as far as Rob Font goes, you would see him kind of adjust the other guy. It was almost like knee to the face. Okay, let me stand you back up so I can punch at you.
Yeah.
And the more and more I'm thinking about it, and the more y'all are talking about the momentum behind each person and how they work, I'm kind of starting to think that that Cody fella, he might get it.
Cody No Love. That's what they.
Cody No Love?
No Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, he's got nicknames too. We got the Mountain, and then we got No Love. Fair enough. No, but I'm genuinely starting to kind of change my mind because when y'all are talking about how the cornering in is kind of working to his advantage, I'm starting to stew on that. I might have to change my mind.
Yeah.
But I'll change my mind after the fight.
Okay. That's like something I said last time. I was like, I'm playing both sides.
I play both sides all the time, man, just in case. I mean, you never want to be
Someone's
fully...
like, oh, actually, on your podcast, you said this. And you'd be like, well, later I also said this, so.
I run the podcast. I'll delete that episode.
Yeah, so those are going to be really good fights. We're looking forward to them. They're this weekend. They're free.
Yep. Be sure to tune in. Also, the Bellator card as well. A couple familiar names on there. A couple guys to watch out for, along with
Fabian Edwards.
Fabian Edwards, Leon Edwards' brother. He's a middleweight fighter. He's fighting this weekend, and he's an up and comer. Yeah, dude, stocky. You think you look at Leon Edwards and think that guy's a really big welterweight. I mean, you should see him standing next to his brother, who's he's a middleweight, but still he's big, dude.
He's thick.
Yep. Then you
How
have
much does he weigh?
He fights at 185.
Yeah, that is thick.
yeah.
That might be 2Cs. I need to see him from behind.
And so you have Cyborg Santos. She's fighting. I want to say, oh man, I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. Leslie Smith.
Leslie Smith. Yeah,
Yep.
Leslie Smith just as much a veteran as Cyborg is. Just as smart when it comes to fight IQ as Cyborg is. I think what it comes down to in that fight is just going to be sheer power.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to fight, wants to win more, is going to go in there and take it.
I know what Cyborg looks like, but I don't know what's the other person's name?
Leslie Smith.
Leslie Smith. Are they both built like?
I think Leslie Smith is a little longer than Cyborg, but they're both pretty muscular. They're both pretty
I don't
tough.
know if those are weird questions to
Physiques.
ask. I can only like base it on like what do they look like? Are they jacked or are they tiny like the other ladies we had?
No, they're 145, so they're pretty stocky. They're
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
See, that's what I like. That's my preferred fight. Is like if I had my way, like steroids would be allowed across the board. I want the biggest and best, either men or women.
So what I've always said that I want is my show. I'm just kidding. What I've said I always want is exactly that. They need to make a division or an organization where there's no weight classes, there's no age limit. Like, let all these guys come. Let them do steroids.
Just
But, or not that there's not an age limit, but there's an age cutoff. You have to be at least like 35 or older.
35 or older?
Yeah, because it can't be for the young guns. Can't be for the young guns.
Oh,
because they'll just
come
go in there,
now.
do steroids, and whoop everybody.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah, very
Randy
true.
Savage.
Right.
Randy Savage. If Randy Savage, God rest his soul, was still alive,
He'd snap into a Slim Jim.
he'd snap into a Slim Jim and he'd be breaking necks and cashing checks.
Cream of the crop.
Correct. Don't remind me, dude. Day he died, me and my brother were in the car. That news came over 94.5.
94.5, really?
My brother pulled over and we cried.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you found out Randy Savage died.
Correct.
He hit a tree, right?
Yeah.
Or was
Yeah,
it a
he
sign?
had because he had like a heart attack.
Heart attack while driving.
Yeah. Too much processed meat.
Yeah, that's what it was,
All
I'm
the
sure.
Slim Jims.
Yep.
So then you have it was that Dion Calderwood.
Darian
Darian Calderwood.
Caldwell.
He Caldwell. I don't know why I said Caldwell. I was thinking of
he's fun to watch. That dude's
Bantamweight.
fun.
And he's also he's actually in a rematch against Leandro Higo. It's a rematch right there. Darian actually has a submission win over him, a guillotine win over him. So it's gonna be a fun one. I enjoy watching Darian Caldwell fight. That guy is a homegrown bantamweight talent out of Bellator. He's been fighting. I think he was like 3-0 when he got into Bellator. So it's cool to see him fighting, doing that. I mean, he only has win against. I think a couple of his losses are against Kyoji Horiguchi, who is the current Ryzen bantamweight champion. So, that's Fabian Edwards
I'm
right there.
Sorry,
Yeah,
man.
that's Fabian
That
Edwards.
was great.
It's crazy to see these. It's always
Wow.
pretty nuts to see someone like Fabian Edwards and you compare his style to Leon, who Leon's more of a technical fighter.
Yeah, we're watching highlights right now from Fabian Edwards. We got that planned. If you like Leon Edwards, go check out his brother Fabian Edwards.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch.
I swear I was listening to every word you were saying up until that.
He gets a up kick and then he stands back up and knocks the guy out. It's pretty great. Good stuff.
I'm sorry. That was amazing.
So yeah, Caleb. MMA, man. What do you think about it?
If they do more stuff like that, I'm in.
Oh, they do. That happens all the time.
I'm
That happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we almost saw a knockout like that.
Yeah.
Upkick
Was
knockout.
it that one?
No,
No.
it was Yuri
Prochazka.
Prochazka versus Dominic Reyes. And Yuri Prochazka, you actually might like him. Actually, he is
He's an entertaining guy.
he's-
on and off the mat. That dude's fun. So before you ask, I'll explain his hairstyle. He said that he was watching a lot of Muay Thai fighters and really getting into it. So he got inspired by the traditional Muay Thai hairstyle. You'll see it. We'll get there.
My lord.
And he said someone would ask him about it, and they were like, what's with the hairstyle? And he goes, oh, this is my antenna, so I can get better Wi-Fi.
Nice.
But yeah, so he's just a very unorthodox, very wild striker. But he makes it work for him, though. And then he's fighting Dominic Reyes, who, not just a few of his fights ago, he was knocking everybody out left and right. And then he fought John Jones and lost that by decision. And then he fought Jan Blachowicz, who is the current champion, and he got knocked out by him. And then he got knocked out by Yuri Prochazka. But he landed an upkick that darn near knocked Yuri out.
You're about to show me it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God.
And several people, it arguably did knock him out at the post-fight press conference. He didn't remember the kick.
Well, that's like the last one.
That's normal.
That dude
though.
was almost down on that second one.
Yeah.
And then the third one, you could tell, like, he was leaving his butt. What?
Yeah.
And wow.
Yuri is a special person. I love this guy.
He's like a jacked Teletubby.
But he's super entertaining. He has a very traditional mindset when it comes to martial arts, like very almost like the Japanese monks.
Like you've seen Bloodsport, right?
That is one of my favorite movies.
He's like someone straight out of Bloodsport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But a lot more modern. The way that he approaches fights, the way that he talks about fights, the way he talks about martial arts in general, it's straight out of like Bloodsport or Kickboxer,
How they
a Van Damme movie, just in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially those two, because they talked about it with such reverence, and it's like...
And he always calls it the art. He says the reason he fights is to bring out the beauty in the art of martial arts.
yeah. Like he doesn't have it. Usually fighters have game plans when they come in. They make something. He doesn't do that because he feels like it should be a fair fight between two men going in there, or two fighters going in there and just putting their best knowledge against each other.
I can respect that.
Yeah. He's very entertaining. He's just an all-around cool guy. Which what I liked about this fight is Dominic Reyes threw a spinning back elbow at him earlier in the fight, and so he ends up throwing one back, which...
And that's how he gets the knockout win.
Yeah.
And
for
after
that
the
kid.
fight, they kept asking him, like, oh, is the spinning back elbow something you would practice? And he just kept, no. And someone else asked again, basically. It was like, oh, so was that something you would plan for him? And he's like, no, that they sent it through my antenna. They sent it to me and told me that I should use that.
The mothership.
Would you fight him?
Would I fight him? He kind of moves slow,
Like I said, he's very
And
unorthodox, but he
he's-
makes it work.
and I do like that he doesn't use strategery. So, I'd say yeah. It sounds like it would be a fun time.
It looks like a great time
It looks like it would be
for him.
pretty much like back in the day when you go out and you wrestle with Big Bro in the front yard. Dad and Uncle are drunk.
There
on the
wouldn't be much
porch.
wrestling with him.
Yeah, but I'd much rather fight somebody who hasn't been like watching my every move and knows exactly what I'm gonna do. But this guy's like, no, I'm just gonna go in and we're gonna make art. I'd take a punch to the face from that guy for sure.
Yeah. I don't think you would. I think you would take it, and I think that'd be the only
That'd be
thing
it.
That'd be
happen.
it for sure. Like I said, I had a headache yesterday that almost killed me. So would you fight him?
No, fuck no. No, you got me fucked up. I would not fight that guy.
Can I say the P word on here?
Yeah.
I can say the P word?
Yeah.
I'm like the biggest pussy you'll ever meet, dude.
You
Come on.
would oh shit, no, it's called
Oh, it happened?
I
Yeah, we
think
were
it's coming up.
It's coming up?
Yeah. But yeah, nah man, I wouldn't fight that fucking guy. I mean, right here. You see the way he just like slumped over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's still kind of like dazed a little bit.
Yeah.
See how he's fumbling around? For sure that knocked him out for at least like 0.39 seconds.
I think it knocked him out of the ground. When he hit the ground, it woke him back up. He was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But nah, man, he's just fun to watch. I like
I'd fight
Dominic
him.
Reyes, but he
You'd fight
just
I'd fight him.
I don't know.
I'd fight anybody.
I guess I'd fucking fight him too
I
then.
didn't mean I'd
but
win.
Correct.
Like, I'd fight him.
I used to say that back at work when somebody would piss me off. I said, "We're about to go out to the parking lot." They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, we're about to fight." "Oh yeah." So, I didn't say I was gonna win, dude, but I'm gonna show you what's up.
Yeah, it's not like I think I can beat Yuri Prohashka at anything physical. I'd fight him.
But can you look at a woman with tender eyes? That face says no.
It's got a sweet face. What are you talking about?
That's kind of messed up because that dude's body just did what his did, but longer. That should have counted as a knockout.
it should. I mean, yeah. If it was, if he was like standing up, if he didn't let him, if he was able to like not fall on top of him, I'm sure Dominic Reyes would have been able to have time to get up and capitalize on that and finish the fight right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you fight anybody, Caleb? You just fight? You think you would if I told you there was an app like Tinder, like you would swipe on someone you would fight, would you do it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this co-ed fighting? Because remember I said last night that there was there was that TikTok lady that wants to host a fight for herself, and she can't find any woman to fight her. We're built the same, way the same.
Equal opportunity?
Equal opportunity. Like, I'm all for that.
Would you fight her?
I'd fight her.
Yeah.
It seems fair. I'm built like a 14-year-old girl, so like it just seems fair. And and here's the thing is like if you can take a punch from a surly woman to the face, you can take a punch from a gangly man to the face. Right?
Yeah.
Tender for fights, I'm about it.
Has she fought before? Who is this person?
I don't know.
Like,
Her name is not J.
I won't look her up. I'm just
Don't do it. Her content's trash. I hope she hears this, riles her up. She comes after me.
Go ahead and plug in your TikTok name.
Correct. It's oh shoot. I'm scared. Do you want my nickname on there or do you want the real thing?
How would they find you if they were to?
How would they find me?
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to find me, you would go in and type PP Poo Poo Head 66.
Okay, it's at Caleb Fitzgerald ST, because my last name's too long.
Oh,
Y'all know what to do. Find me on that TikTok. Especially not J Us. Take her in the ring.
how would you win? How would you win?
How would I win?
Yeah.
Any way I want.
Correct. First, women's bone density is not.
Well, don't make it into a science. Just tell me what you'd go in there and do.
Oh, okay. I'll spare you the details then. First, I would take her with a cross chop with my
Right.
leg straight to the thigh. I've got some bony shins.
See that?
That would hurt quite a bit. And then when she kind of falters like that, I'm just gonna 1-2, 1-2.
You ever thrown a leg kick?
What I was just
Okay.
talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had one checked?
No, I've seen videos, and that's the only thing that stops me from actually like
Yeah.
doing that in real
It
life.
stops a lot of people.
Correct.
Like,
I've seen some people touch their knee with the same foot, and that just disgusts me.
you ever been
But
hit? You ever been hit with a leg kick?
I have. I've got a buddy who does martial arts and UFC training, and he also does like bodybuilding,
Right.
competitive weightlifting. The dude, I think he's like 6'5", every bit of like 300 pounds.
I'll fight him.
And every now and then, no, it was just recently. I can't remember what we were doing. And I kept messing with him. He was like, if you do it again, I'm going to leg check you. And I was like, do it then. And he did it. And as a grown man, it's been quite some time since I wanted to cry from being hit. And like, man, I was just sitting there thinking about life. His legs are so big around. and he just got me one good time right in the middle of my thigh, and I was like, yeah,
It
dude,
fucking sucks, dude.
it sucks. But this chick on TikTok, I mean, like, she talks a big game, but like I said, she's built just like me. I know she can't throw hands.
Have you seen her fight?
No, that's the thing. She's talking like Jake Paul.
I've
But
seen
there's-
Jake Paul fight.
Exactly. There is nothing on her. She's just saying that there's this
Well, maybe
talk
she can
going
fight,
on.
and she's just like, "Why I want to fight, but I'm not going to show you why you should fight me."
I just
Because
don't-
what happens if I'm good? That makes it even harder for me to get a fight.
Correct. That is a good point. But I'm just saying, like, I'm throwing shade straight up to a TikTok celebrity. Anybody out there listening who knows her, put me on the map.
We'll set it up. We'll set up the very first Devin the Bear fight card.
You what? Fucking DATBFC? Fucking make it happen.
Jeez, that's too much.
Yeah. We'll work on a better name while we do that.
The South Houston
That's too much.
integrated Taekwondo.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be something with a T.
What happened? Why'd you know it was going to be a T? What does that spell? Tell him to say it.
Soho.
Say it.
Int.
Shit, it's shit. Just
So
like South Houston.
you'll headline that card. It'll be the Sewebwoody card.
There it is. There it is. I just breached like 200 followers today, so I'm kind of a big deal. It's a lot of truck pages too. I don't know these guys. I almost want to make like a shout out video to them.
What
and be
is the
like,
truck page?
like it's just some redneck who keeps posting his F-250. It's
Oh.
actually a couple,
Oh.
and like I don't think they understand. I am not their demographic.
You look like their demographic.
I don't. Is it the denim shirt?
I think
That and
denim
it's
and
the mustache.
the mustache.
And the head and the fucking bandana.
Oh, okay. I just felt like looking like trash
Yeah,
today. That's all.
the bandana strikes me as hippie
Yeah. Very.
backpacking around Costa Rica because he didn't want to go someplace hard to backpack.
You ever been to
That's true.
You ever been to Austin?
Sadly,
Yeah, you look like it.
I hate that place. I hate that place so much. I'll never go back. That was the worst part about having long hair was like I could have made so much money.
Mhm.
Can I talk about DD?
I don't know what.
Or at least people asking me.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate the
Like so yeah, no problem. I just don't want the ATF to show up to your house or something because I tell a joke. But
No, they'll show up to mine.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll spill all the beans.
because we.
I am currently on papers right now.
Moving on.
Moving
Go
on.
ahead, Caleb.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
I would always go to these music festivals, or I'd go to Austin, or I'd go to Galveston, and I'm like with family and friends and like girlfriends and stuff like that back in the day.
Well, multiple.
Not at the same time.
Okay.
I'm cool, but not that cool. And people would come up to me and they'd be like, "Yo, man,
No.
yo, man."
Just to clarify, he means girlfriends.
Not-
Because you're built like a 14-year-old girl in your words, so
It's true. It makes me. It makes the women believe that I can't get anything else, so it's security. It's just security.
okay.
It's not because I'm handsome or have kind eyes. They're like, "Oh yeah, I can lock this one in." Lo and behold, I'm in my room at 3 a.m. playing with Transformers and getting drunk.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, people would come up to me and they'd be like, "Yo, man, you got a nick on you?" I'm like, "Pardon? You look like you carrying." And I'm like, "No, sir." And then I have some hippie dude go, "Bro, you look like you carry hella weed on you." And I'm like, "No, sir." Even cops thought it. Like, I noticed that I've been pulled over 3 times since I cut my hair. Not a single cop has asked me if I have anything I'm not supposed to. And when I had long hair, they would go looking in my back seat, ask me, "Got anything you ain't supposed to?" And I'm like, "No."
That's real shit, dude. When I had
It's
long
real.
hair, like when I got pulled over, every fucking time,
Yeah.
they were like, "So what's up, man? Where you come from? School? Where you go to school at? San Jack? Where you heading to right now?" Well, I'm in my work clothes, so I'm heading to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just you give off that hippie look when you have the long hair, you know.
Correct.
So
and I'm a child of the Lord. I don't mess with that devil lettuce, man. I mean, I've dabbled, but not at the times that people accused me of.
Not whenever it was gonna count against something bad.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Why don't we get somebody, and I don't know how far I can go with this idea, but we get somebody who just got pulled over by a cop.
Right.
Received a ticket. This will be the openers for y'all's. I think my mic's been off. Could you hear me?
Yeah.
I think I just turned it off on accident a second ago. That's slippery thumbs. Anywho, we have our little quote unquote celebrity matches, but our openers could be people who and we could set up something with like the police department. If this guy beats you in a fight, drop the charge. Like a speeding ticket or a parking ticket. We can't go for like manslaughter or anything like that. But you're talking
about like in like the movie End of Watch.
I was just thinking
Michael
about
Pena
that.
Fights that guy and he's like, hey, if you beat me, we're cool. I'll head out of here, no problem. But if I beat you, I don't ever want to deal with you again.
I've never seen that movie.
Never seen that.
So
It's
technically
really-
speaking, this is my idea, and it's completely
It's
original.
not how that works, but all right.
I said it first.
No, they said
You interrupted me to tell me they said it first. So no, but isn't that a good idea?
What's that? It was,
Have a well, of course you'd search the person first and insert cop
and tell a
joke
cop
here.
to do this, and they're gonna go okay, because that's legal.
It sounds like a lot of fun. If you can pick
That would be our pitch.
if you can
Like, hey, here's how. We know it's not legal, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds like
if
a
you
lot.
just come fight these guys.
look, you have people who are sitting or who have tickets or fines or are threatened with getting to be sat in jail for however long it takes to pay it off. But then they say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go pick up trash. And that's good enough to pay it off. So why isn't throwing hands?
you ever seen felony fights?
No, that sounds like my sport.
Dude, it's fucking legit. You should watch that shit.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. I'll show that to you in a bit. It's fucking awesome. They get former convicts or current convicts, and they meet in, like, a fucking field in the middle of nowhere, and they just fight, dude. That's what they do. And they, like, kill each other. Like, it's intense, man.
Man.
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up and show you in a bit. I'm going to have it ready for you.
Have you ever seen the movies Undisputed?
No.
That's what that is. The prisons. It's like a
That's that
like fantasy football, but with prisons and
Yeah.
fighting. Yeah, it's really cool. Yuri Boyka is the character from it, played by Scott Adkins. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we could set something up. We can set something up one day.
I think what should be the opener, it'll really get people's attention, is me versus not JS. No, not you.
No.
Why not?
You destroy me.
Okay, then how about you and Devin?
It's fair.
Devin
How much
weighs
you
more
weigh?
than you.
I weigh 180. That's a rude question. Hold on.
Am?
Never
No.
said he was a polite person.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I weigh about 180.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
And now it's on the internet, so
Yeah, fuck.
Everybody knows.
Everyone's gonna know I'm fat now. Like,
all the chicks who are swooning at
Yeah.
their screens are like,
That
oh,
voice.
ooh, a man that's under 5'5" and a 180.
Now you have your height.
Yeah. Now they have my height too. They're like, oh, gross. He's like a 14.
How much under 5'5"?
we're like, that's what it is.
What's that?
That's why there was a spiritual connection when I saw you. We're both built like 14-year-olds,
Yeah.
but different.
Yeah, but
like Zach was towering over me. You remember when I
yeah,
was
this motherfucker
14,
was
I
like 12 years old and shaving every day. Yeah.
and I was like 4'8" up until 10th grade.
I remember.
Yep.
I remember several times hanging out in the ecology center, having to put up with you. They were
So,
good
yeah.
times.
He says put up with me
Yeah. I chose those words right, didn't I?
a little bit. I was a cutie at least.
I wasn't fun either. Do you remember Richard?
Yeah.
Do you remember that time we hid his violin from him?
Yes. Oh my god.
How
yes.
horrible was that?
Y'all are so fucking mean.
But here's the really funny part. We hid the violin outside the window of the principal's office, and she was just watching, and we didn't know. That's how we got in trouble.
Did he ever get that violin back?
Yeah, it was just in the bushes.
You know what's interesting is that because that was
He doesn't play violin anymore.
he's scarred. Is that what was his name? It was Cruz. It was something Cruz. He was like this really odd, like I know he was supposed to be a nerd. He was really cool with me and Nathan, and he would always wear like Matrix sunglasses. Super smart. Well, he
In middle school or high school?
In middle school. And he walked up to me in the little quad area before school one day and goes, "Hey, Caleb." I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You want a violin?" And I'm like, "Pardon?" He said, "Violin? You want a violin?" It's like, "Do you have one?" And he hands it to me. And I was like, "Isn't this yours?" And he was like, "No." "Where'd you get it from?"
I bet you it was Richard's.
And he said, "I can't tell you." And then just walked away. He was this weird, nonchalant character, and I had a violin. And I almost made it the entire day until Miss Yanez made me turn it back in. She said, "Why do you have a violin?"
It's mine now.
"It's mine. It was given to me." I don't know
Who would question a child about that? Why do you have a violin?
Well, she knew I wasn't in musical arts.
Do you need to be to own a violin?
That's a good question.
No, you don't.
She lost a lot of trust in me because I told one joke too many. I wanted to run some things down to the ISS office just to get out of class and be a goody two-shoes, and she was going to send somebody else. And I said, "Oh man, this is the..." And I didn't even sell it either. Like, it was really bad. I was like, "Oh man, this is the worst birthday ever."
You motherfucker.
And she went, "It's your birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was really looking forward to that. And she yanked the papers out of that kid's hand and went, "Go, go, go." And I come back, and she had looked into my paperwork and found out it wasn't my birthday.
Was it?
I'm a little stinker.
Is it? Is it really that important though? Whether it was your birthday or not?
Apparently, it was to her.
I mean, just it's papers.
It is.
She just wanted to make your day, I guess.
That's the only time that has worked.
I can't even say I remember who she is.
No, probably not.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, idea real quick, and then I'll let you get to talking. I know you're
Shit.
dying for it, but on days when you can't think of fights to look up and don't want to cover any real people fights, you should do fictional fights
Like
Godzilla, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ultraman.
we'll wait for
fiction.
days where you're here to do that.
Fictional fights. Fair enough.
Yep.
I threw that grenade. It didn't go off.
We did do that one time. We talked about Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Steven Seagal.
Like current day,
Just in general.
was it in their prime? Because so Steven Seagal's a joke.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's an athlete and a practitioner, but I've never been convinced that he's a real fighter.
I think he is.
I mean, you can practice. You can go to a taekwondo gym your whole life, but if you never fight, it doesn't matter. If you don't ever put it to use, not just practice, it doesn't matter. You can have all of these techniques in your head, but when you actually have to use them, do you have the nerve to use them? Do you have the presence of mind to use them? Chances are no.
Doesn't his daughter actually fight? Because I know his daughter is jacked
Maybe.
just like him.
He
and
does have a
the whole-
kickboxing record. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Because wasn't he?
He is 18-1.
I thought he was a. Because he did fighting before he was in movies, correct?
Yeah. He was a martial arts practitioner. Like he was
Practitioner.
fighting. Yeah, he was
There's
also
a good word for it.
He
And
was
the word you just used a second ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cyclical life is.
But he has an 18-1 kickboxing record. His only loss was by DQ, but Yeah, he's all of his kickboxing wins are by knockout also. So I mean, then you have Steven Seagal.
And Steven Seagal does like
He does
he does martial
Aikido.
arts.
Aikido.
Well, isn't that the same thing?
It's a martial art.
It's where you pretend to throw somebody over your knee.
Not even over your knee. Just you grab their wrist and they do a full flip over. And Aikido is real. Aikido is a real thing.
Do you get belts in it?
Yes.
Different colored belts?
Yeah.
It's fake.
We'll tell it to jiu-jitsu guys. We'll go in there later and I'll show you.
No, please God, no.
So, have you seen the Steven Seagal footage when he was doing seminars? Or when he was earning his belts?
I had got the presence of mind to look into that because I had a Steven Seagal day, I'd say
I'll show you right now.
3 months ago, and I decided to watch some videos. And isn't this him doing the little flippy doos and stopping people with, yeah.
And
this is the fake stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand why people think it's real. I don't. Aikido is real. So that isn't really Aikido. So with Aikido, you're using their momentum against them, grabbing joints and manipulating them. So like if you were to come at me with a punch, I would do my best to dodge, grab your wrist, and let your momentum push you into a bent wrist, which is going to hurt, and then yank it, and now you're going to twist in a way that's going to be kind of your bodily reaction to stop the pain in your wrist, and now I can hit you or I can throw you to the floor. But what he's doing is flippy, and you're on the ground.
I tap your shoulder. I tap your shoulder fast.
Yeah.
I love that part where they kind of chase him for a second.
So, who do you got? Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Watch. They kind of give him like a little chase in just a second.
So Caleb.
You can't catch me.
Who do you got?
Look, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I would be honored to fight him if you could set that up.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, get big, please, so you can make that happen. Call his people. I would love to get.
Because he's from Brussels, not Germany. We don't have Brussels influence.
It's like 30 minutes down the street for them. But I would be honored to get just.
We do have Brussels sprouts in the fridge right now.
We do.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll eat one raw, just in honor of.
They're cooked
already.
Oh well.
So we'll have it'll. That's how you summon them, right? That's how you get Jean-Claude Van Damme to show up in your home.
You eat 3 of them in front of the mirror in the dark. Yep.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then you turn the lights on and he's there.
Hello, I'm American.
Have you seen him doing the dancing? Have you ever seen him dance?
Yeah, the dance from Bloodsport.
Yeah, more or less. That's gonna be it.
And did he dance in Street Fighter as well? Which
probably
everybody forgets he was in that movie.
I don't. He's Guile.
He's Guile. Totally American.
Looks just like him.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Where's your hair?
In a way, shape, or form does he look like Guile?
Super
or
tan.
Sound like Guile?
Super tan, slicked over brown hair. No, I would fight Steven Seagal for sure. Just to say I did, but I would definitely take a gut check from.
This was the video I was talking about with him dancing. But you would definitely take a what?
I'd take a gut check from him while he did that.
Oh, he did that to you?
Yeah, to my mom, just for the disrespect factor. Who would you fight?
Who would I fight?
Yeah, like a celebrity.
Celebrity, fuck.
I'm not going to give you the same 2 people because I feel like I watered down that sody right
I would like to fight Mark Wahlberg. Probably fuck me up, but yeah.
Dude, I don't know though.
You don't think?
I think he's gotten to the realm of show muscle.
Yeah, Pain and Gain kind of did that to him, but yeah, I feel like he would probably fuck me up. But I would put on a fight against him. I would try to. It wouldn't go very well. I don't think he does train, but yeah.
I fight Haley Joel Osment.
Dude, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's
Hey. Whip him into shape. You still got the acting chops. We've seen it.
dude, he's a grown.
I've
baby.
seen Tusk.
He's a
Was
grown
he?
baby.
Yeah, he was.
He was in Tusk,
He was
yeah.
in Tusk for 5 seconds.
Have you seen Future Man?
No.
He's in Future Man. It's a Hulu show. Check it out. It's funny.
He was in a movie with the guy, the Taekwondo dude from Rex Kwon Do. You know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah. He was in a movie with
That's
him.
the guy from Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Drew Carey show.
I can't remember what the movie was called, but he was like his
a
gay
weird
dad or
thought.
something like that.
That's weird.
I'm just saying he's a good actor.
Seeing them in a movie together is weird to me.
Oh, that's the weird
Yeah.
thought. Okay. I thought
No.
the premise of the movie. I was about to say
No.
I didn't write it.
Yeah. So did you pick a celebrity fight? Who'd you fight? This is what we'll end it on. We'll end it on with who you'd fight.
It doesn't seem fair, because you know me, I'm equal opportunity. Like, part of me wants to say.
I didn't ask what male celebrity you would fight.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like part of me wants to say like Whoopi Goldberg, but
I think Whoopi Goldberg would fuck you up, man.
I think so too.
Yeah, like I think she's got something, or I think she would kick my ass too.
Yeah.
I think
Wrap
she
one
would.
of those dreads around your neck. And
Yeah, something. She just got something to her that she doesn't play no shit.
No. Shoot. That's a good question. I'm probably. I'd probably say The Rock. Like if I'm gonna get the shit beat out of me, I want to get.
You wanna earn it.
I want to get the shit beat out of me. I'm talking like season finale of Invincible type of stuff.
Then why don't you pick someone even like worse? Why don't you pick someone like
Who's worse than him?
several people, like real fighters,
No, but we're talking about.
Or about like my fucking Michael J. White
like non-fighting celebrities?
Is that
Michael
that's
J.
playing
White?
Spawn.
Yeah. Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'd fight him. No, I'd
There you
fight
go.
him.
See,
No,
there
that
you
seems
go.
like a lot more fun because he does like the judo
Actual
type
fighting.
of stuff
Yeah.
to it
Martial
too.
arts.
Dude would
Fighting.
fuck somebody up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just
Okay.
watching clips from that movie. And I love that.
I love
movie
that movie
so
too.
much.
I show him clips too.
I-
Look us out.
Or some shit like that.
Is that really fucking Michael J. White?
Yeah,
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
it's pretty great.
I always call myself on like mobile games where you can set your username every time. I always put cream corn.
Green corn,
You know why they call me cream corn? I'm smooth.
bullhorn.
Chocolate giddy up. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'd also like to throw in there before we leave that I love Haley Joel Osment. I want him to be healthy and look healthy. Neither do I, but let's both do it, man. Haley Joel Osment.
On 3, let's say together. 1, 2, 3. Together.